caption. Check, check, check. Okay, captions, please. Troubleshooting is my favorite part of stream. Okay, there's my captions. Looks better. Oh no! I'm scared. Scared in the Discord? Okay. What now? Well, that's disgusting. I guess I didn't need to finish eating that granola bar after all. Humans are just disgusting in general. I'm proud of you, Butt Spot. Anyway, as soon as I'm done with this granola bar, I'll be starting. Hi, headset. Okay. Granola bar accomplished. Now I can begin. Yeah. Okay. So Marshy just died. Let's see. Hey Google, pick a random number between 1 and 3.
Here's a random number, 3.
Thank you. I kind of wanted to save her for last, though. I think I'll just go with the first option anyway. Laptop is still kind of steamed with you, but at least it's running more smoothly now. Well, yeah, that's good. It's always good when it's running smoothly. So we've done Mallow, we've done Mal, we've done Marshy. What variant of my name should we use this time? Destroyer of Worlds. I wonder how many letters I actually can get away with this. No, I can't get Sir Mallow, Destroyer of Worlds, Reaper of Souls. Damn. Because that would have been perfect. Mallow Jr. Okay. Yay! We're on the island. ID card! Luckily, this guy isn't the sociable type, so I can take in the sights without distraction while we whiz along the forest path. It all looks so lush and green. Mossing in the tent. I want to bite his face off. Anyway, shall we go through a few formalities and call it a day? Blah, blah, blah. Let's just get into the story. Catalog. As I'm settling into my tent, I make a discovery that really catches my attention. It's a notebook that was obviously written by my predecessor. Because the beginning of the story is always the same. I've left it under the bed. A good invitation means I need to read it. It may be the first draft of a novel, and it's not bad either. They certainly have a vivid imagination. There are bizarre stories about talking cats and other island anomalies. They were obviously very inspired by their surroundings. Very inspired! Kick the professor in the bussy. I intend to. It's a great read. Imagine if it were true. Oh, I don't have to imagine. I laugh at my little fantasy as I snuggle down for my first sleep on Cat Island. And that was your first mistake! Sometime in the middle of the night, I'm woken by an intruder in my tent. Before my brain can catch up with what's going on, I've leapt from my bed shouting, "Who's there?" I scramble around for a few seconds before I realize that the notebook has been taken. The next thing I know, I'm running through the forest barefoot, chasing what looks like a cat. This is insane. The first mistake was agreeing to go there to begin with. True. A wave of nausea rises up in me, and I realize I've become perilously close to the danger zone. Remembering the warnings in the notebook, I try to turn back, but my legs give way under me. I close my eyes tight as I hit the ground. I open my eyes. A calico cat is standing in front of me. It drops the notebook from its mouth. "Damn it, Trixie!" The professor alone is enough to make someone go, "Yeah, it's not worth it." I pass out. I'm laying on the sand, surrounded by cats looking down at me. "Yeah, caught us a live one!" "Move back, child." "Yes, let them breathe, or they won't be alive much longer." As my brain begins to defuzz, I realize this is what I was reading about in the novel, only it wasn't a novel at all. My stomach tightens to a knot. It was a journal. I focus my eyes and pick out the big marmalade cat. Have I been bitten? Well, of course you've been bitten. How else would you be able to hear us? This one's an idiot. Don't be rude. The calico cat turns to me. You know about being bitten. You read the journal then. Most of it. Enough to understand what's happening here, Ka. Enough to know you have a choice to make. I look from the cats to my scratched and bitten arms and back again. Enough to know there is no choice. We have to help each other. Bravo, Kara. So let's cut to the chase. We've already done the chase bit. Hush now. What do you need to know, human? I'm still a bit dazed and in shock. Everything, really? At that moment, my catalog starts beeping. It's telling me I have 15 minutes to get back to camp and start my first day at work. I have to go, though. Let me get myself together and we can catch up later. Has Trixie's mood changed? Yes, I think it has. I have a feeling you're going to do very well, Kara. The best one yet. I'm just about to enter the lab to begin my legitimate work when the catalog beeps. It's a message without any contact information. In calm water, every ship has a good captain. I had to wait for it to show up on the stream to be able to read it. It went by so fast. She didn't act like that to Kibbles before, did she? No, she didn't. She was a little bit admonishing to Kibbles, but she's a lot stricter with him now. I've had just about enough mystery as a person can handle for one day. If you want to be anonymous, I'll take it you also don't mind being ignored. The professor is already working when I arrive, but I'm not late, so there's no fuss. I get through the day as efficiently as possible and head back to my tent as soon as my work is done. I want to get to grips with finding out all I can. Ooh, extras. That's new. Something has woken me, and I can't work out what it is. I'm so used to the sounds of the island by now, waves crashing in and out, the owling, and the sounds of the occasional cat fight, that they no longer disturb my sleep. Whatever it was seems to have stopped, so I bring my blanket up to my chin and allow my eyes to close. The sound of the waves get fainter, and my mind drifts further and further away into the land of sleep. Suddenly, I'm awake again. I can hear a strange noise coming from somewhere nearby. From my very tent, in fact. It sounds like scratching? I strain to make it out. It's familiar, but uncommon. Like a pen on rough paper? Not a pen exactly. A quill, perhaps. I sit up abruptly and find myself alone in my tightly fastened tent. I reach for my torch to take a better look around and realize that I'm holding something in my fist. I don't remember grabbing anything. It's a folded piece of paper. I open it slowly, wary of what it might be. I must have written a note to remind myself of something and then forgotten I'd even written it. This place certainly messes with the mind. I look at the elaborate swirling cursive. That is definitely not my handwriting. And do you need assistance? S.H. Who's S.H.? I do a quick mental run-through of everyone on the island, but the initials don't fit anyone. Maybe it means shh, as in keep quiet. But even so, assistance with what? I stare at the piece of paper for a while, wondering who could have slipped it into my hand while I was sleeping. And more importantly, why? I scrutinize the handwriting. It's unusual and beautiful. Hey, Maggie! I've got your pillow in the dryer right now. And I've got the bedding in the washer. I'm wondering if when that beeps, can you put the bedding in the dryer, and then after the bedding's dry, we'll put my pillow in the dryer to fluff? I also ran another dishwasher load while you were out. Because I noticed that the coffee pot had gone moldy, so I ran it through the dishwasher with a few other things. Anyway, continuing on. Normally, I would think that this was some kind of practical joke, but it had been written by someone with such a deft hand that I cannot imagine anyone here being capable of this class of penmanship. This has been written by an artiste. Congrats on the catch headset. Why would someone assume I needed assistance with something? In spite of myself, I begin to drift back to sleep. Well, do you need assistance? I'm sorry, what? Who are you? I take out the catalog and try to scan the mysterious cat. No data available. Oh my goodness. I figured you would be, Mystic. Who am I? If I might be permitted to make the introductions, I'm Dr. John K. Watson, most happy to make your acquaintance. It's got crossed eyes. That's so cute. He holds out his little paw for me to shake. Hello. And this is the legendary Sherlock C. Holmes, at your service. Sherlock doesn't even look at me. I think his ego may be bruised by me not instantly recognizing him. Well, we're here to help. Help who? Why, you, of course. Oh, I wasn't aware I needed help. If you do not see that you are not equipped to help yourself, I put it to you that you are in more need of our help than was previously understood. That Pipes totally has catnip. I know, right? Must cuddle, must cuddle. Ah, this is adorable. He is rarely wrong, so yes or no. Yeah, honestly, we could use the help. Besides, it's a Sherlock and Watson cat. How can I say no? Allow me to alleviate you of some of the questions that are inevitably swirling around in that tiny diurnal brain of yours. It has come to my attention that you are interested in finding out more about the true nature of this island. And that's a good thing. It indicates that you may not be quite as stupid as you look. We're going to have a talk about that attitude, though. He does, though. Now really, Holmes, I would ask you not to insult our client. Oh, I don't mean to insult them. Surely they're not so stupid that they don't know how stupid they are. As I was saying, my interest has become sufficiently aroused as to prompt me to agree to aid in your endeavors to unravel the little mystery you have stumbled upon. Clearly, we cannot do all the hard work for you, but we shall assist you to the best of our abilities. My abilities being far more useful than that of my colleague here, obviously. Now, Holmes, really. What my good friend here is trying to say is that we are at your service, and shall do our best to help you find the answers you seek to the questions you ask. Well, I suppose that's very nice of you, but before we go any further, who sent you? Sherlock and Watson share an inscrutable look. You really must focus on asking the right questions if we are to make any progress. I shall appear with intelligence shortly. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning! I sit up in bed again. Zane is calling through the tent flap. Or should I say, good afternoon? Crumbs, I've overslept. It was a long trip getting to the freaking island layoff, dude. I know, right? Anyway, I am going to keep doing the extras. Oh no, I accidentally pressed my hearing aid button. Now I can't hear what's going on. Ah. One moment, technical difficulties. Okay, that's better. Do I have any recon open right now? I do. Recon 8. Yeah, you still have your half a bottle of iced tea in here, hon. Do you want it? Okay. When the dishwasher's done, can you put on a pot of coffee? Thank you. I've been devoting all the time I can spare to working on an antidote for the catification process. Although it's not an entire failure, progress is slow. Excuse me, and I'm concerned that I may be running out of time. It's time I did some more tests on myself to record how the virus is progressing in me and what effects it's having on my body. That should give me some idea of how much time I have left before it becomes too difficult to hide the problem from other people. I'm sneaking around in the middle of the night because I can't risk getting found out by Professor Popper or the Marigolds. The only person likely to check up on what I'm doing at this hour is Zane, the security guard, and I'm confident he won't have a clue what any of this stuff means. I start by taking my own blood. Never an easy thing, but trying to find a vein when you're also trying not to look is very tricky indeed. It takes several missed stabs before I get it right, and I take as much as I dare without making myself feel woozy. I take saliva swabs from the inside of my mouth, inside my nostrils, in my ears, and finally from my groin area. I seal each swab in its tube and label them 007. Corny, I know, but it makes me smile. Cute. I'm also pretty certain no one will pay much attention to the numbers. Everything is numbered around here, so you tend to go blind to any number that isn't the particular one you're looking for. Next, I tweeze out individual hairs from my head, eyebrows, arms, and legs. Each hair is prepared and placed into a microscope slide. Finally, I take clippings from finger and toenails. Some I prepare onto slides, some I put into test tubes for testing the activity to various agents. I'm quite sleepy by the time I've prepared all my specimens, and I'm starting to think maybe I should freeze this lot and call it a night when I hear something moving around outside. I go and poke my head out, but it's too dark to see anything. Hello? Nothing. Is somebody there? Do you want something? This place can be very creepy sometimes. The top of the coffee pot is in the top drawer of the dishwasher. The top flat drawer. I took it apart to make sure it all got clean. If you can't figure out how to reattach it, bring it to me and I'll do it. No problem. That little diversion has made me feel much more alert, and with my second wind, I decide to press on with my testing. I work steadily for the next hour and a half before I can draw any conclusions. The short-term test results indicate that not much has changed from the last time I did this. Clearly, I'm not progressing very fast, which is a big relief. However, I can see some marked changes from before. Mostly, these are based on the rate of cell growth and movement within the nail clippings and hair samples. Everything is growing more quickly. I'm a little disappointed not to have seen anything more informative, but I remind myself to be careful what I wish for. I place the long-term tests at the back of the specimen fridge, and will check up on them in 24 hours. There's not much else I can do now. I clear away all the equipment I've used and leave the place in exactly the condition I found it in. Even Mrs. Marigold won't suspect that I'd been there. I'm just heading to my tent when I hear a noise coming from behind me, from inside the lab. I walk back and call from outside. Who's in there? Silence. I have security with me. I hear how ridiculous this sounds and curse myself for being idiotic. I walk into the lab, put the main light on, and am stunned to see the tests I put in the fridge out on the lab table. I have no idea what to do, so I just put them back in the fridge. But this time I use the padlock on the fridge door. Nobody ever bothers with it. I've often wondered why it's even there. I don't want someone getting at my blood samples. I'm too freaked out to think straight now. I need to get to bed. I turn towards my tent, and there's a huge dark outline of a man in my path. It's Zane. Evening. Evening. Working? Yep. Doing security? Yep. Good night, then. Good night. As he turns to walk away, I catch him say almost in a whisper. There's the monthly stock take of the fridge tomorrow morning. I turn to ask what he means, but he's already gone. I realize I'm being given a helping hand, so I go back to the fridge and get my samples. I'll take them to my tent and see if I can't grab some ice from the mess kitchen on the way. Zane knows and he's trying to help. I feel like Zane has to be trying to help right now. Zane knows something. Zane knows more than he's saying he knows. I'm gonna do a research. Tagging and scanning. Medical trial. Which I think is the one that we failed last time with Marshy. And filling in. So, should I do research 2, research 7, or research 11? Let me know in the chat. You're surprised by this turn of events? So am I, headset. Wonder what changed? I don't know. Thank you, Maggie. Research 11? Okay. Any other suggestions? Research 7, that's the medical trial that we failed with Marshy. Are you sure about that choice, Madge? Okay, fair enough, Mystic. That's fine. Alright, heads it'll be 7, tails it'll be 11. Oh, Madge's changing their mind? Okay. So, tagging and scanning, or filling in with DIY? I'll just do 11. I'm writing my journal. I've developed a habit of getting up early and writing for 30 minutes each morning before I begin my day. I'm often so tired at the end of the day that I just want to fall into bed, and my journal gets neglected. Also, I like the way it grounds me before the strange island sucks me into the adventure of a new day. This morning, my concentration's being broken by a very odd noise, and I suddenly realize it's the sound of someone trying to knock on my tent flap. Hello? Excuse me, sorry to interrupt. I recognize the voice as belonging to Mr. Marigold, the island's caretaker. Oh, good morning, Mr. Marigold. I spring up to greet him. Can I help you? I would invite you in, but... I indicate the chaos of my tiny tent. Barely room to swing a cat, I know. I laugh as his joke, but notice his deadpan expression and realize he's serious. I quickly move on, stepping outside. Is there something I can help you with? I hope so. And that would be? Mrs. Marigold has taken to her bed. Proper sick she is, so the boss said I should ask you to fill in for her today, if that's all right. I know the professor well enough to understand that I don't actually have a choice. I am filling in for Mrs. Marigold today, whether it's all right with me or not. Actually, I'm quite intrigued. Great. I mean, I'm sorry to hear your wife's poorly. Nothing serious, I hope. But I'm happy to spend some time with you, Mr. Marigold. Well, best make an early start then. You get your shoes on, and I'll meet you at the jetty. And before I can say another word, he's disappeared off towards the water. I quickly put my journal back in its hidey hole and grab my backpack with the field kit in it before stuffing my feet into my trainers. When I arrive at the jetty, I can see that Mr. Marigold has already started work mending the wooden rail, where a couple of the posts were damaged in a recent storm. How can I help? Just pass me those pins as I go along. Need to reinforce this, and then recoat it with preservative. I'm a bit disappointed. Just so you know, I can use a hammer too if you have a spare. We could get this mended much quicker with 2 of us working on it. There's no rush. Oh no, I suppose not. You're here with me for the whole day anyway. I didn't mean that. Actually, I'm pleased for the opportunity to break out of it and try something different. Bored of this place already? He squints sideways at me. No, not at all. There's so much going on here. I haven't even begun to uncover half of what this island has to offer, I'm sure. I just meant it's nice to have the chance to get to know someone new. Company is in short supply here. Human company. He mumbles it half under his breath, so I'm not certain he even said it. Beg your pardon? You seem to be getting on with the cats, though, eh? Yeah, I'm spoiled for choice with feline friends. Be careful with that. I stop and look at him. He holds my gaze. What do you mean? Be careful with those pins. You're gonna have them over the edge in a minute. I look down and see that, in not paying attention, I have kicked the box perilously close to the edge of the jetty. Closer to the edge than you thought. I get the feeling we're not just talking about a box of nails. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Looking in the wrong direction. That's when we miss the things right under our nose that could cause problems. Mr. Marigold? We've stopped what we were doing and are standing up now, looking directly into each other's eyes. Do you know something I ought to know? Such as... Well, obviously I don't know. I know you're an inquisitive little blighter. Have you been watching me, Mr. Marigold? Keeping an eye might be a more accurate way of putting it. Well, thank you, I think. You're welcome. But I wouldn't be so quick to trust people if I was you. You don't know me, or my intentions. And suddenly, he lets out a roar of laughter and gets back to work. I have a feeling you're one of the good guys, Mr. Marigold. Call me Mason. I hand him pins, and we say no more, but as I go over our conversation in my head, I realize I've heard those words before, or some very like them. The nameless message on my catalog. Be careful who you trust. And it hits me. Mr. Marigold is my mysterious messenger. Oh my goodness, we chose well. Quick stretch break, because my back is a little sore. Alright. It's a high pain day today, so we can pick Trixie or Kibbles. Trixie or Kibbles. We haven't done Trixie yet. We wouldn't be able to pick Trixie if we'd done her already. We've done Floofy Butt McMurphy and Snooty Booty. So I've got 2 votes for Trixie. I hear a strange tap-tapping sound, and it grinds on my brain until finally I have to go investigate. I've been tagging cats all morning, and the sun is high in the clear blue sky now, so it's time to take my break anyway. I decide to follow the sound. I make my way further along the beach to inspect the rocks and cliffs that run around the perimeter of the island. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. It's hard to tell if it's getting louder or if I'm just getting more consumed by it. Suddenly the tapping stops, and I hear a new sound altogether. It's a strange gurgling, like the sound of a babbling brook that runs through the deep forest. But I wouldn't be able to hear that all the way from the beach. I stand still and strain my ears, listening intently. There it is again. A short eruption of burbles. I look around suspiciously and notice a barely concealed opening in the contours of the rock face. I feel compelled towards it. As I get closer, the gurgling shapes into gleeful giggles. Hello? I wait at the mouth of the cave, feeling like I've been moored here, but at the same time, like an intruder. Am I disturbing you? Woman! Oh, Trixie, it's you! What are you doing here? I could hear you from all the way up the beach. You're a long way off base. I could ask you the same thing, human, but I won't, because I know why you're here. You were drawn to me. I knew you'd come sooner or later. I made it nice for your visit. Oh, Well, come on in, Humi. And she's disappeared into the darkness of the cave. I squeeze myself in after her, and as my eyes adjust to the gloom, I am, at the same time, taken aback by the light. We're in a small cavern which should be pitch black, except it's not. There's a light source that my brain can't quite understand immediately. The rocks, at least some of them, are radiating... Oops, I accidentally... with a warm golden pink glow which gives the tiny cave a peculiar ambience. Take a piece of space and make yourself at home, Humi. I sit where I've been standing, as there's not much room here. I start to take in my surroundings. Wow, Trixie, this is fantastic! All around us are different types of rocks, stones, and crystals, all different colors, sizes, and shapes. There are piles of the stuff in every nook and cranny, like a little Aladdin's cave. What exactly is this place, Trix? It's my pad. It's where I do my thing. We all need our thing, don't we? Yes, I suppose. But what exactly is your thing? Minerals! I collect them. It's more than just collecting them, though. I embrace them. You hug them? Trixie giggles. Yes, I do. But that's not what I meant. I connect with them and allow their properties to become part of me. We combine our energies. Please do not fuck the rock. Please do not fuck the rocks. I'm not quite sure I understand. Look, it's easier if I show you. Please don't. The small cat begins nudging and pawing at some of the stones until she has lined them up in front of me. Do not the rock. The rock is porous and gives you bits the nasties. Yep. Here's my island family. Meet the Grand Dame. She indicates a long, slender pink stone, quite smooth and elegant. Feel her. I run my fingers over the shiny, cold surface. Remind you of anyone? A smile breaks over my face, and Trixie begins to giggle. You got it, only don't ever tell Snooty that I'm calling her Grandma. Here, how about this guy? I'm presented with a large, squat chunk of rock, semi-covered with a kind of moss that gives it the appearance of having fur. As I turn it, the light picks up the color, and I see a warm, rich amber tone, almost like marmalade. It makes me laugh out loud. That really is uncanny. The Major in rock form. Wonder if it has to do with the kittens from before? Maybe. It might. Now you've got my brain going. Mineral, actually. But yes, Gramps has all the qualities to lead my little family. I've already moved on to the next stone, and the resemblance is striking. It's a dirty green stone that fits very comfortably into the palm of my hand. It hasn't been polished like Snooty Booty, so it's a bit murky looking. But there are small patches that have been rubbed clean from handling. There are breathtaking emerald, catching the light so the green sparkles, refracting and dancing around the cave. It's beautiful. Yeah, naughty Uncle McMurphy can be like that, don't you find? Oh, he certainly can. His charm is very beguiling. So who's missing? No one. What about Kibbles? Take a closer look, Humi. I strain my eyes in the gloomy light and see a flat, jagged piece of stone next to Floofy Butt. And then I get it. It's a pebble. He is a pebble. We both laugh. It really does seem to capture Kibbles, but it's hard to say why. It's the energy. Everyone, everything has energy, and we're all connected by it. Allow me to demonstrate. Take my paw and close your eyes. I do as instructed and hold the tiny paw in my hand, being as gentle as possible because my fingers suddenly seem fat and clumsy by comparison. What do you feel? She's warm and fragile, and I almost feel like giggling. A bit tipsy, really. Okay, now keep your eyes closed and hold my other paw in your other hand. When I have both of her paws, the feeling is intensified. I begin giggling out loud despite myself, and I'm overcome with a delicious feeling of joy. Open your eyes! I look down and see that I am only holding one of Trixie's paws. In the other hand is a small, clear crystal, completely smooth. Wow! But how? It felt just like your paw, warm and fuzzy. I know. Trixie is laughing. You were feeling the energy. This is me. Trixie indicates the crystal. Oh my goodness, Trix, this is so cool. Thank you for letting me meet you all. I notice her face change. She looks as though she's been hurt. Trixie, what is it? Are you okay? This isn't all of us. What? There's someone else in my island family, but we don't talk about her anymore. Oh? She was the coolest sister ever, but she's not with us anymore. Oh, Trix, did she pass away? No such luck. She's being kept alive. Trixie nudges a small black piece of stone towards me. I pick it up and look at it closely. There's thousands of specks of glitter running through it, giving it an iridescence. It looks like the night sky. I close my eyes instinctively, and am immediately overwhelmed by the most intense sadness and despair. It feels as though all the pain in the world is captured in this little black gem. Trixie, what on earth happened to her? I can't say. Not yet, anyway. She has taken the stone and hidden it before I even realize it's gone, and suddenly her mood has changed completely again. We need to get you one too, Humi. You should be mineralized, don't you think? I'd be honored, Miss Trixie. You're really quite open for a scientist. It's actually a requirement that, in order to be a good scientist, you remain open-minded. Let me read your tarot. I'm a bit thrown. That came out of nowhere. I don't know about that. Not as open-minded as you'd like to think, then? That's not fair. I just wasn't expecting it. Come on, then. Yes or no? Yes. I will indulge Trixie because I'm getting a lot of information out of her right now. Sorry, I had to respond to something on Skype. Alright, why not? I played tarot once in uni. It was great fun. Oh, Humi, tarot isn't a game. Of course not. Go on then. Tell me who I'm gonna marry. Trixie lets out a small snicker. I don't know why, but I'm starting to feel a bit nervous. The Calico Cat produces a pack of cards with an intricate pattern on the back. Wow, that's a cool deck. Where'd you get it? McMurphy got it for me. He won't tell me where from. He finds the coolest things, though. Trixie places the pack of cards on the floor, begins waving her paws over it, and lets out a strange yowling sound. Finally, she stops and fans the cards out in front of me. Okay, your turn. Close your eyes and slowly run your hands over the cards until you feel drawn to one. Touch it lightly. Repeat until you've chosen 3 cards. I self-consciously do as I'm told, relieved that I'm not expected to make yowling noises too. I touch 3 cards, and when I open my eyes, Trixie is holding them in her paw, looking thoughtful. Very interesting. Your past is the Fool. The Lovers is in your present position. How scandalous. And you have Justice in your future. But will you be handing it out or receiving it? Very interesting. Is that good interesting or bad interesting? There's no such thing as good and bad, really. It's all just information to help you, if you choose to listen to it. Okay, I'm all ears. Are you going to tell me that I'm a bit of a fool who falls in love and gets my just desserts? I notice that Trixie has become quiet and thoughtful as she studies the 3 cards. It feels like an age before she speaks. The position of this card represents your past, everything that has led you to your current situation. The Fool is all about innocence and spontaneity. It's the first card in the Major Arcana and signifies beginnings. The Fool portends important decisions ahead, which may not be easy to make and involve an element of risk for you. It is a powerful card, not to be underestimated. The next position is your current situation. The Lovers can be a misleading card because it suggests being all about romance, but actually it's far more about making difficult choices. It warns that you need to consider things very carefully, because although a positive outcome is more indicated when this card is present, it also reminds us that pain is seldom avoidable. Tarot cards are pretty good for reflection, even therapy. They are! I have like 6 decks of my own. Each one serves a different purpose. I generally ask my decks which one wants to speak to me before I do a reading. Each one has different advice for each different situation. The one you got me, that deck is... Yeah, that deck's a brat. If that deck wants to speak to me, I know to take the advice with a grain of salt. Absolutely, Maggie. Absolutely. I think I know where you're going with that. And if so, the answer is yes. But we'll talk after stream. Finally, we have your outcome card, Justice. This augurs well for you, human. It's the most karmic of the tarot cards. If you behave with integrity, loyalty, and courage, you will achieve fantastic results and gain the highest possible successes. Beware, though, that the sword cuts on both sides of the blade. If you sow the seeds of discord, you will reap disharmony in your life. There is a longish pause, and I realize she's finished my reading. Thank you. That was fantastic. You're really good. But what did it mean? Oh, really, Humi? What did I say about listening? I heard every word, I just don't know what it means. Then go away and think about it. I will. I'll try anyway. Just remember that it's all about interpretation. And listening. Interpreting the cards is listening. You need to listen to your inner voice, and the cards will help you hear it. I have so much to learn. And I'm happy to teach you, Humi. She's beaming and glowing in the strange half-light of her magical cave. The effect is quite hypnotic. Well, I'll look forward to that. But right now, I have a date with the microscope. Soon, Humi. Soon. I make my way out into the bright sunshine and take a deep breath. I'm not sure what all that was about, but I think I rather liked it. I'm going to take a 5-minute break after this segment, I think. I'm woken by the sound of music filling my tent. Wait, music? What the? As I grab my torch and fill my tent with bright light, I see the bizarre spectacle of a cat in a cape and deerstalker hat playing a violin. This is too weird even for this island. Be quiet! You're gonna wake the whole camp! I'm afraid he can't stop until he's completed the entire coda. OCD, you know. But why is he playing in my tent in the middle of the night? It's what he does. Well, can't he do it somewhere else? It's what he does when he's near to working something out, on the edge of the precipice of enlightenment. God damn it, I'm starting to sound like him now. And what does that have to do with me? It's your little mystery he's working on. At that moment, the music ends with a flourish, and I begin clapping instinctively. I stop, irritated with myself for encouraging him. Sherlock takes a little bow. I have it. Have what? Come, clothes, shoes, outside. And he's gone. You'd best get dressed and meet us outside. I do as I'm told, cursing myself for going along with this nonsense. It's the middle of the night, and I have to work tomorrow. When we reconvene out in the cold of the night, Sherlock is pacing up and down, flinging his little cat arms around as though he's conducting an orchestra. I lean in closer to Watson and whisper so that only he can hear. What's he doing now? He whispers back. It helps him to think. Can we get on with it, please? Follow. He struts off towards the back of the labs. We come to a halt at the incinerator pits. Regard, if you will, the small white particles of grit at the epicenter of incineration, resistant to total cremation. The remains of teeth, possibly. Before we can comment, he's striding off again. Bear with him. It's usually worth it. I traipse behind him until we stop again. This time, we're outside Professor Popper's tent. We will need to be stealthy. What I want you to see lies within. We can't go into the professor's tent. He's in there sleeping. My powers of stealth are beyond what is in the expected range of a normal feline, or any animal, for that matter. I've trained to the highest level in the art of kakate. For many years, I studied under... Oh, just get on with it, but if he wakes up, you're going to carry the can. Do you understand? My dear child, I understand the greatest problems posed to humankind's greatest thinkers. I doubt I shall be taxed by a nincompoop of your caliber. Now, Holmes, me nights. And quick, I might add. The client's teeth are chattering. Actually, stop. I'm taken aback by my own forcefulness, and even the great Holmes stops in his tracks. I want you to come back to my tent right now and explain whatever it is that you think you know. No more of this theatrical showing off. Just tell me like a normal person. Cat. Is that a Mr. Mime in the chat? Don't mind. If I do. As you wish, but it won't be nearly so. It's my turn to stride off and leave him mid-sentence. To be fair, he is being a bit, insufferable right now. We're settled back in the warm, and Sherlock has reinflated his ego. I have a theory, and until it's proven, that's all it is. A theory about what this island is. The secret it keeps. Or secrets, if my deductions prove true. I'm very tired. Could you please just tell me your theory so we can all go back to bed? I'm still working on the individual components of the larger picture. However, for this evening, and to whet your appetite, I shall disclose and leave you with this. There are deviants that walk this earth under the guise of normality, whose aberrations, if exposed, would shock you to your core. Okay? I intend to prove that this very island is home to one whose practices are not only unlawful, but also unthinkable. Yeah, I know he's going to be like that, but he's still being insufferable. When are you going to actually tell me anything, Sherlock? Yes, Holmes, come now. We need to get along. I refuse to be rushed and bullied in this vulgar way. We just want you to say something of significance that makes some sense. Human sacrifice. Well, that shuts us all up. I wait for him to continue, but of course, he strings it out as long as possible for dramatic effect. Yay, I caught the Mr. Mime. Sherlock was talking about the professor? Yep. I figured that out a while back. The offering of human babies in sacrifice is an ancient practice. The demand for virgin blood by the dark gods is widely recognized as... Sorry to interrupt you in full flow, but are you saying there's sacrificial rituals going on here right under my nose that I haven't noticed? Why would you not notice? What's right under your nose be noteworthy? May I remind you that I needed to point out to you the human teeth in the incinerator, a place you inspect daily. Exactly, Holmes. I tend to those pits as part of my daily routine, so I know them inside out. What you're referring to as teeth are actually the small pebbles that cling to the roots of the plant samples we burn after testing. Pebbles don't burn. In fact, they collect and alter the temperature of the incinerators, so I have to clear them out twice a week. Sherlock is uncharacteristically quiet. Watson looks deeply embarrassed. Now, unless you have any other ridiculous notions you'd like to share with the group, I suggest we all say night-night. Good night. You have no idea the danger your ignorance places you in. I shall not be deterred by your lack of cooperation, but shall return shortly with irrefutable evidence. Good evening. I'll call for you if I need you. I am sorry for everything, really. We'll wait to hear from you. Adieu. Well, that was weird. I'm gonna do a rest. I'm in class at my university. The tutor is late, and we're all sitting waiting. I turn to my friend who sits behind me to make a joke about the tutor's car breaking down, but my friend isn't there. Instead, there is a giant cat. It looks like an elder. It bares its teeth at me and lets out a menacing low growl. Just as I'm about to scream, the tutor arrives, but it's Professor Popper. You look like you've seen a ghost, Mallow Jr. I'm trying to answer back, to tell him to look behind me, but the words won't come out. I'm rigid with fear, can't move, can't speak, can't scream. Everyone else is acting like things are normal. Can't they see it? Congratulations, your sleep paralysis, Stephen, now takes the form of an elder. I force myself to turn again and look at the terrifying cat, but it's not there. It's just an ordinary domestic cat, and everyone is laughing at me. Now I see everyone from the island. The Marigolds, Joe, Bob, Zane, Popper, all pointing and laughing. I jump out of my seat to leave, and I'm in bed, in my tent, sat bolt upright. I shouldn't have eaten cheese so close to bedtime. Sleep paralysis demons being an ass again. That cheese had to have some kind of funky growth. Yep. Wait. I know my morning alarm is ringing, but I can barely lift my eyelids. I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to today or dreading it. I promised to go in 2 hours early to help with the monthly inventory and deep cleanse of the lab. It's not the work I'm anxious about, but the fact that I'm doing it with the Marigolds. They're an odd pair. They certainly don't say much, and I quite often feel that they're judging me. Oh well. The sooner I get there, the sooner it'll be over. Yep, I remember that. Well, the weather's been crap, Mystic. Do you think you've been having migraines? Centaurs can sometimes be associated with migraines, and I know that yours are often weather triggered. It was raining earlier. Finally took some of the pressure out of my sinuses. Mm-hmm. As I approach the lab, I can hear their voices raised in stage-type whispers. They're obviously having a row that they don't want anyone else to hear. I loiter around for a few minutes to see if I can pick up any tidbits that would be helpful. I'm not nosy. I'm just curious. It's a cat, Mason, okay? A cat. All it cares about is sleeping and eating. It's still a living thing, Mora. A living thing. This glorified vermin is what it is. You're putting us at risk. He isn't the sort of person to mess with, Mason. Loyalty to the company is the #1 priority in their eyes. I have been loyal. It's my allegiance that's changing, not my loyalty. Do you know how ridiculous you sound? Allegiance to who? A bunch of cats? Mara, you know they're not just cats. You knew when we signed our contracts. Not fully. It's different anyway, in real life, living with them, knowing them. Knowing them? You know what I mean. I know if you mess this up, we'll be destitute, at best. I feel I can't put this off any longer. Good morning. Oh, you're here. I'm not late, am I? Not at all. We were just discussing how to proceed. They exchange glances. You two can get on with the stock check. Leave the sanitization to me. Sounds good to me. Where do we begin, Mr. Marigold? Call me Mason. I have the list here, so I'll call the item and you tell me how many we have. Okay, Mason. But if I'm in your way, you just let me know, Mrs. Marigold. Yes, I'll be sure to. But if we each mind our own business, I'm sure it'll all work out fine, dear. The tension in the air is tangible. This could be a very long 2 hours. We start with the top shelf of the large metal cabinet. Standard test tubes. 20 boxes. Petri dishes. 10 boxes mixed sizes. Beakers large. 25. Beakers medium. 20. Only 20? That's a bit low. But we had more breakages than usual. I decide not to tell him that I sometimes use them as tea mugs, and there are at least 3 in my tent growing mold as we speak. Yeah, we've all been a bit clumsy lately. I know one was knocked off the counter by McMurphy this week. Nothing but trouble, them cats. Mr. Marigold continues with the stock take, as though he didn't hear his wife. We move on to the next shelf, and the next, until we've almost finished the entire inventory. We're coming to the end of the drugs cabinet. Ketamine, 50 milliliters. 8 bottles. That can't be right. It says here we normally stock 30. See for yourself. 2, 4, 6, 8. Do you use a lot of that, then? No, on the contrary. It's mostly just used for anesthetizing. We rarely do that kind of surgery. Now that's a mystery. I wonder what it could be being used for. You two will be a lot quicker if you stick to your counting and leave the wondering up to the professor. We finish the rest of the job without any unnecessary chat. We all seem to be deep in our own thoughts. Mine are all about where that amount of ketamine might be disappearing to, and for what purpose. Suddenly, I don't feel too good. Mrs. is an ass. Absolutely. Popper is shooting up. Probably. Alright, Trixie, it's your turn. Come on, Humi. At this rate, you'll have to go back before we even get there. I'm not built like you, Trix. Not yet, anyway. You need to cut me some slack. These cliffs are hard going. I'm taking an extra long lunch break today to go scavenging with Trixie. Having realized I'm the only member of the family not to be represented in rock form, she's become obsessed with finding my crystallized doppelganger. I'm both flattered and unnerved at being a member of a cat family. I try not to overthink it. Can we take 5 so I can catch my breath, please? It's okay, we're here, just over the edge. Look! As I catch up to Trixie, I instantly see what she's referring to. As soon as my head gets above the cliff we're climbing, I'm confronted with a kind of rock basin. It's almost volcanic looking, as though something huge once fell here and left an almighty indentation. What is this, Trixie? Jump down. It's perfectly safe. The nimble little cat has made it down to the plateau in a couple of swift leaps, and is looking up as though encouraging a child into a swimming pool. It's easy. Just spring up and glide down. For you, maybe. I'm a lot less cat than you might think. But as I stumble around, I find it surprisingly easy to find my footing, and my legs feel springier somehow, taking me higher than I expected when I jump. The landing feels soft and sure-footed. Maybe all this island exercise is making me fitter. Neither of them questioned the name McMurphy. They knew who McMurphy was. Even the two on the boat asked about the name. Well, remember that all of the cats have names registered in the catalog based on the microchip that they were given too. So I think the names that were given are the names that everybody refers to them as anyway. When I stop feeling pleased with myself and take in my surroundings, I have to catch my breath. I feel as though I'm standing in a prehistoric time warp. Where are we? What is this? Close your mouth, Humi. The Lucilites will get in. The what? Never mind. Just get some of this and ditch dodge for the high road. This is some of the expressions you use, Trix. You do make me laugh. Were you born on this island? She's clawing at the rock like it's a scratch post. My parents brought me here in 1967. Really? Wow! Do you remember? No. The last one told me. You mean the person who worked here before me? How did... But I'm silenced by her abrupt interruption. Thanks for all the help. I realize I've done nothing and jump up to see what I can do, but Trix seems to have what she came here for. Take this. It's a shard of black and silver. Hold it in your hands and feel the character. Try to blend with it. I do as I'm told, but the only thing I feel is foolish. Not sure. Perhaps I'm not very rough-like. Mineral! Sorry. Okay, leave it. We'll have to try again elsewhere. But to be honest, human, I'm running quite low on ideas for you. I feel guilty that I'm so difficult to place, and I wonder if I should try to make it better. No, let's not quit so easily. Trixie flashes me a look. I've put quite a bit of effort in, actually, Humi. I know. You've been amazing. I really meant myself. I've been a bit of a passenger with this so far, and I think it's time I made more of a commitment to it. Trixie looks much brighter. Really? That's so sweet of you. Absolutely. You sit down and take a break. I've got this. Trixie nuzzles down into a patch of wildflowers and watches me intently. I have absolutely no idea what I'm meant to be doing, so I start improvising, all the while watching her little cat face for clues as to how I'm doing. I crouch low to the ground and hold my arms out, open palms face down. I'm imagining they're fleshy metal detectors. I hover them about an inch above the ground and make a large sweeping arc. It seems to be going okay, and I'm rather pleased with myself. Trixie is smiling and nodding encouragement, clearly convinced by my little charade. Then I make the mistake of closing my eyes because I think it will look more authentic. Now I can't see what Trixie is doing, if she's even looking at me. I decide to wrap this up. Oh! I've stopped mid-flow, as though I can feel something. What gives, Humi? You found something? Her voice is very close, so I can't risk opening my eyes now. Instead, I lower my hand and feel around for something. Anything. I believe I have. My hand has settled on a small stone of some kind, which I grasp in my fist. Yes, definitely. This is me. Let's see it then. I open my eyes and my fist, and I'm disappointed to see a very ordinary piece of rock, indistinguishable from all the others around this basin. I cringe, but I'm committed to it now. That's interesting. Not at all what I was expecting. So you're sure this one is you? Hang on a minute. I try to look serious and focused, the way Trix does when she's doing this stuff. Yes, I'm definitely getting something. There's a sensation. Something's changing. That'd be the size of your nose, Fumi. Huh? How stupid do you think I am? What? I don't... You can stop the charade now. But I am feeling... Nothing, Fumi. I put that bit of rock under your hand for you to pick up. I knew you were faking. I can feel my face burn red. I'm mortified. Trixie, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I know what you were doing. It was sweet in a way. But you don't need to pretend with me. This is very real for me, and it really doesn't matter if anyone else gets it or not. I get it. I feel so shallow. Yeah, I guess you would. Hey-ho. And with a derisive snort, she's bounded off, leaving me to find my own way back to camp. Well, I think I screwed that one up. I was hoping that maybe if I bluffed it, I would accidentally do the right thing. True. So that didn't go as planned. Just gonna tag and scan. Something is leading me into the forest. Oh, it's Kibbles. Just me. Oh, hi Kibbles. How's it going? No, fine, it. Oh, what's that thing? Kibbles is already eyeing my chipping pen. It looks like a weapon. Is it a weapon? No. Well, kind of. You want me to show you how it works? Kibbles gives me an exasperated look. How dumb do you think I am, human? Look, you'd be doing me a huge favor if you just let me use this thing on you. Oh, yeah? Yes, I don't think I can actually tag you twice, and I need all the practice I can get. Oh, well then, catch me if you can. I hear a "Nya" echo through the forest as Kibble seems to disappear before my very eyes. Impressive. How'd you do that? Kibbles, come back. I won't shoot you, okay? I'll even let you have a go if you can show me how you disappeared so fast. He won't come back now. The new voice startles me. He's like the Scarlet Pimpernel. I turn to see a mid-sized brown-haired cat scratching at the trunk of a tree. Oh, hello. I don't think we've met before. My name is... Anyway. I know who you are, Turntail. The island is buzzing with news about you. Turntail? What does that mean? I realize I'm going to have to scan her. Kibble sleeps from nowhere and pins the new cat to the floor. Shoot her! Sorry. This won't hurt. It's for your own good. So we can make sure you stay safe and healthy, and I seize my opportunity and move fast. I've already grabbed the scruff of her neck. and before I finished speaking, I pressed the pen between her shoulder blades and released the microchip. There, all done. Wasn't so bad, was it? Whoa, awesome. Can I shoot the next one? I doubt that, Kibbles. I wiggle my thumbs in his direction. Aw, man, I gotta get me some of those. Can I get up now? I have things to do. Kibbles. He remains pinned to the other cat. I reach for the spray bottle in my pocket, and he leaps away with a laugh. Off you go, then. Do your thing. Anything I can help you with? No, just duties. Duties. Must get everything done. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to enter data for you in this catalog. How about we call you B? B? Because you're so busy. Busy Bee. Look, Bee, it'd be good if I could get you to come to the camp to check you over and make note of your details. If you want to drop by when you're free, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'll have to come back with a cat carrier. Not so great. I'll come by. I know the place. The cat slinks off. Do you know her, Kibbs? Kibbles emerges from his hiding place in the tree. Yeah, I know her. Is she okay? She seems a bit unhappy. Oh, she's fine. She's just like you is all. Like me? What do you mean? You're the scientist. You work it out. Kibbles vanishes again. No, she still got shot. Coffee's ready? Yay! Would you make me a cup, please? Actually, I was going to take a 5-minute break, wasn't I? Yeah, everybody's been shot so far. But yeah, I'm going to take a 5-minute break. I'm going to be right back. And you're right, I was still muted, Madgie. Sorry, I said exactly, Shelley. Cat, 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 cat. No, the sound wasn't broken. I was just an idiot who forgot to unmute when I came back. Fair enough, Shell. So you're quite far from home today. Aren't you nervous being so close to the enemy? Oh, really, Watson? I thought better of you. You sound like you've been spending time with Floofy Butt. The original Elder Cats are not the enemy. No. Are they your friends? Well, no, not exactly. But that's only because they're understandably suspicious of why we're here on their island. Your first error, my dear child. He has stopped playing his violin and deigned to join us. Hello, Holmes. By what evidence do you deduce that this is their island? They were here first. And you know that how? Quite. You jumped to erroneous conclusions based on the assumption and zero factual verification. I'm not in the mood for him today. Either make him wind his neck in, or I may have to muzzle him. Try to be patient. He means well. He's just not very socialized. Okay, come on then, Sherlock. Let's hear it. What do you have for me? I have devoted myself to the task of unraveling your problem, and I believe I am on the point of a denouement. Plain English, please. He's about to reveal all. What an extraordinarily fitting backdrop for the staging of this revelation. You see over there the shadow cast against the rocks. He's pointing in the direction of the outer territory. I screw up my eyes against the glare of the sun and look at the wall of grey rock in the distance. That's right. I can make out the shadow of the giant cat statue that sits in the middle of the danger zone. It's always been there. You're hardly disclosing any groundbreaking developments. Au contraire, my dear. It cannot always have been there. Someone must have put it there. Oh, yes, but long before any of us arrived. Believe me, no one would like to understand how it got there and what it signifies more than me. But unless we find a way to communicate with the elders, it's going to remain a mystery. And that is my stock in trade. Go on, then. Tell all. I continue with my lunch. It's very simple, actually. The statue of Bastet, your goddess, was erected by your leader, or rather, by his minions, under his direction. I stop eating. Our what? By who? Watson, help us out here before we lose patience. I think what my learned friend is trying to tell you is that you are in a cult, and Professor Pauper is the charismatic leader. There's a moment of silence when nobody moves, until it's broken by my sudden burst of laughter. A cult. Not just a cult, but to be precise, the cult of Bastet, feline goddess of Egypt. I'm finding it hard to breathe for laughing. And who? Who's in this cult? And why? All of you, of course, each seeking out a place to belong, each running away from something. Such as, take a look, if you will, at the containers you've been filling all morning. Plant samples, yes. And you will be taking these plant samples to the marigolds. Look, you obviously know all this already, so shall we cut to the chase and you tell me what you think you know about Mr. and Mrs. Marigold? Clearly, I will have to spell it out to you. It is my belief that they have had to seek protection and concealment on this island from both the authorities and rival drug barons. I look over at Watson for some sign of sanity, but he has buried his head in his paws and obviously thinks the same as me. The Marigolds are what? Drug dealers? They are in the business of the manufacture and distribution of illegal, mind-altering substances. Or at least they were, until something drove them out of business and forced them to begin again here. The professor has taken them in and now put them to work for him in exchange for his silence. How did you come up with this in the first place? Exactly, my dear. Just look at the evidence in front of you. They are cultivating an herb garden right under your nose. The professor has you believing whatever he chooses. Right. I've had enough of you and your crackpot ideas. Take your little violin and go fiddle elsewhere, Sherlock, before I can tell you in no mood to open your mind and take seriously the proposals I put forward, so I will take my leave of you. But in my absence, ponder this. When you engage in the trance-inducing maneuvers your leader trains you in daily, then you be sure he is not gaining control of your mind, body, and spirit. Oh my god, yoga! He's teaching us yoga! He's already gone, and I'm shouting to an empty space. I can only apologize and ask that you don't think too harshly of him. How do you do it, Watson? How do you put up with him? I suppose I care for him rather deeply. Good day. I feel a little ashamed for not caring a bit more than I do. This is wild, y'all. This is wild. Wow. I kind of want to do the next extra, but also... You think the cold angle might be something to consider, though? It might be. It might be. Ah, heck. Why am I so tired? I haven't even been streaming for 2 hours. Might be a cult doing unethical research, you never know. Might be. We'll find out. I've been helping with the deliveries this morning. There are only 3 boxes left, which I'm attempting to carry in one run, so that the final box is perched precariously on top of the other 2. Bob recommends I only take 2 at a time, but I want to get on with other things. I'm inching my way blindly along the jetty path, regretting my impatience, when suddenly something flies out of nowhere, and all 3 boxes go scattering in front of me, tripping me up into the bargain. What the... Are you bowing before me? I know who that infuriating voice belongs to before I even look up. Sherlock, what are you doing? You scared me half to death. Allow me to help you up. We are most terribly sorry. Thank you. I'm sure you are, Watson, but I find it hard to believe he understands what sorry feels like. Sorry is a word, my dear. You cannot feel a word. Not in the way Sherlock went about it, but there's something to there's something to consider with the cult angle. I agree, especially since they want to ship out products that specifically have come. Yep. He's about to launch into one of his rhetoric marathons, so I interrupt him before it's too late. He's like a juggernaut, very difficult to stop once it's at full speed. Never mind all that. Why are you here? I didn't call for you. Exactly. You didn't call, so I needed to come unannounced. I have news. A breakthrough. Really. I have been ruminating. The picture is becoming clearer. More of the dots are joining. This great jigsaw that is overwhelming you has just found another piece. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a corner piece. It's so frustrating. Are you saying you found something out? Well, indeed. I'm not so sure. Something highly significant has come to me. Oh? Don't get your hopes up. In a dream. Oh. Yes, afraid so. That's a point headset. And yes, Avon is cosmetics. So is Mary Kay. You have a point headset. The greatest thinkers of all time have relied upon the hallucinatory guidance of dreaming, not the dreams of the sleeper, shut down and flabby. No, the dreams I speak of are self-induced, insightful from a trance, the opening of the subconscious mind while the frontal lobe is distracted. In other words, all that nip you've been smoking. Woo, it's 4:20 somewhere, baby. Hypnotism. Catnip. Sorry? He's talking about self-induced hypnosis. He practices it a lot. He gets a lot of help with catnip. You left your vape in here, Maggie, if you're looking for it. Remember not to go overboard. I'm a sleepy kitty today. It looks a lot like sleeping. So you may as well tell me, now that you've caused such mayhem. I look around and see that one of the boxes is burst open where it hit the ground, and the contents are scattered around us. I begin to gather them up when Sherlock snatches one out of my hands. The very proof. This, Watson. This is what I'm talking about. Tins of tuna? What about them? I've tried to tell him. To you, these may be innocent tins of tuna, but to me they represent the corruption and deceit that is at the very heart of this godforsaken island and the cult that inhabits it. This crap again! He thinks he's worked it all out. And so I have, if you will all stop jabbering for one moment and allow me to speak. Watson and I exchange a look of exasperation and allow Sherlock to take center stage. This, he holds up the tin of tuna again, is no ordinary can of fish. It's more like a can of worms. The most cursory of investigation uncovers that what we really have here is a contraband of these two latter-day pirates, who plunder the waters of the wider ocean and peddle their ill-gotten gains to the unsuspecting merchants on the mainland. I lean in close to Watson so that Sherlock doesn't overhear me. Joe and Bob? Yes. Pirates? It would seem so. Their unscrupulous fishing methods have drawn the attention of the world-renowned vigilante environmentalist army, Libervert, who have hounded them across the salty battlefields and forced them to retreat into hiding here, within your very cult. He's gone mental, hasn't he? I fear so. Here, amidst the drug peddlers and crossers. Oh my! Under the protective. Whoa, hold there, Sherlock. What was that? In spite of your mulish refusal to accept the truth, the caretakers and the security guard. Same? The very same. What? What? I'm not nipped enough. For this storyline, Sherlock, you need to lay off, man. You've had enough catnip. Watson emits a small groan and bows his head. How else would you explain the bottles of nail varnish, the perfumed skin creams, the nylon stockings sized XXL, all flung indiscriminately around the camp with the abandon of cheap burlesque, Let me stop you there for a moment, you utter numpty. Oh, steady. Not that it would matter one jot if anyone chooses to cross-dress, or that it would be any of your business, but just for the sake of accuracy, allow me to educate you. The nail varnishes belong to a previous research assistant. The stockings are used in the hope of catching small airborne life forms that might help our research. And as for the creams, that is the mystery I've been investigating and researching since my arrival on this island. A mystery that you, oh great detective, have been no help with whatsoever. You want some of what Sherlock is smoking? I don't know. I think it might be too strong even for me. Oh no. Notice, if you will, the word research was used several times in my statement. That's because I'm a scientist, and in science we do not present a prognosis unless we have done the research to uncover sufficient evidence to lend our findings credibility. There are no facts underpinning your theories, Mr. Holmes, and that reduces them to the level of utter balderdash. I see the way it is. The truth can be hard to swallow, and with hurt pride as an accompaniment, it may be altogether unpalatable. Perhaps, Watson, it would be kind to leave our client to digest these revelations in private. That's possibly the most insightful fucking idea you've had so far. He's smoking Victorian-era bigotry. Yup! So when you see how wrong you've been and how right I am, you will be grateful that I have spared you public humiliation. Watson has got to his feet and is tugging on Sherlock's coat sleeve. Indeed, my friend, let's go and eat some of this excellent tuna for lunch, and you can explain to me how you managed to solve this ticklish conundrum so brilliantly. I stand with my mouth open, watching them leave, not quite believing what I'm hearing, when Watson turns back to me and winks. It's a small gesture, but it makes everything fall into place. Of course Watson knows it's nonsense, but he allows Sherlock to believe he's right simply because he loves his friend and accepts him for who he is. No embarrassment. I feel touched as I bend down to pick up the remaining tins of fish. We could all do with a bit of that in our lives. Well, that's all the extras for now. So that was unique. You had a lovely nap and wake up feeling revitalized. Yay! The sun has almost set, a large orange orb so low in the sky. I feel I could reach out and touch it. Maybe this is what Trixie wanted me to see. Her whispered invite from behind the lab door this morning was a brief, "Hey, sundown, dress to de-stress. Be there or despair." Honesty is best policy with Trixie. That's what I think too. I'll learn my lesson next time. Last time, I mean. Oh. Oh, my heckin' sinuses. I hate this time of year so much. The weather's finally getting nice, but I can barely breathe, let alone speak. The rain is what's causing my sinuses to be full. It's the moisture in the air pressure. It's not the pollen. Pollen's already over for the year. At least the ones that I'm allergic to that are in this area. But the wet weather has my sinuses and head all backed up. Mm-hmm. As I reach Trixie's cave, my breath is literally taken away. There are clusters of lucilites, tiny illuminated flies that look like strings of fairy lights hung all over the beach. They lead to a formation of rocks close to the water's edge, spotlit by the amber glow of the moon and surrounded by the sparkle and twinkle of more lucilites. It's magical. I call to Trixie as she emerges from her cave, dragging something in her mouth. I dash over to help her. Whatever it is, it looks too heavy for the delicate calico cat. Oh, thank you. I'm almost done. Could you take it over to the seats? She's indicating to the rock formation I was just admiring, and now I see it from this angle. It really does look like a seating area. In fact, the whole area looks like a stage, beautifully lit and set. When I put the cloth bundle where she wants it and untie it for her, I discover a small collection of objects that Trixie immediately sets about organizing. She's so deft and determined. I can't help but see the human in her. Can I do anything? This looks fabulous, Trix. How did you manage to stage the lucilites? She laughs. Easy when you know how. They just love manna. Manna? The manna from the heaven flowers. Look! She takes a flower from a garland she's pulling from the cloth bag and punctures the bulbous center with her claw. A few drops of clear, sticky liquid ooze out, instantly attracting a tiny swarm of sparkling flies. What is it? Taste it. Go ahead. It's safe, Humi. Actually, it's delicious, in fact. I gingerly touch a droplet with the tip of my pinky and put it on the tip of my tongue. It's sweet and spicy, like cinnamon and honey. She's right. It is delicious. The garland is now around my neck, and I look like I'm wearing a necklace of dancing lights. Trixie has nudged a much smaller garland under her head, and the effect is stunning. You have a halo. Trixie giggles. Well, I am an angel after all. This stuff is good. Is there mana in this? I drink the warm, sweet nectar from a shell that Trixie has placed in my hands. Yes, amongst other things. Steady, though. McMurphy helped me make it. I thought I could detect the warmth of his Irish charm. As I drain the shell, I feel a bit lightheaded, and I sit down on one of the rock seats. Oh, well, hello, chums. I didn't see you there. The whole of Trixie's mineral family are gathered on the other rocks. The gang's all here. This is a lovely treat, Trixie. Thank you. Oh, but the main event is only just beginning. I would like to present for your pleasure and delectation, Mademoiselle Trixie Belle. I clap enthusiastically, but I have no idea what's going on. I'm having a ball anyway. And then it begins. Trixie has taken center stage, throws her head to the full moon, and lets out the most almighty sound. It's long and loud and weird, a strange concoction of meowing, hissing, and purring, all together in a cacophony of ear-piercing caterwauling. For a moment I'm confused, but it's like another part of me starts to take over, a part of me that understands this awful racket, and my ears rearrange what I'm hearing until it sounds like singing. Beautiful singing, sad and plaintive, then rising to hopeful and rousing until I'm compelled to join in. I throw back my head and let out a sound I didn't know I could make. Come on, Humi, come up here! Trixie is inviting me to join her on the stage. I'm momentarily brought back to my senses, aware of who I am, and it jolts me. What the hell am I doing out here on the beach at night with a clouder of yowling cats? Part of me feels like I'm intruding. It's voyeuristic, and I feel uncomfortable. Join me. But there's another part of me that wants to cut loose and allow myself to experience all of it. I leap gracefully onto the platform next to Trixie. From here, the view is even more astonishing. There are cats swarming in from the rocks and undergrowth to join us. We are all harmonizing as though we are one entity. Tails intertwine as lucilites dance around us. Trixie has begun a kind of dance, stretching and twisting her whole body. She looks elastic. I begin gyrating too, and it feels fantastic. Every muscle and sinew is malleable. I am in total control of my entire anatomy. Before I have time to take in what change, I am running at full pelt, with Trixie following, and behind her a whole string of cats, all scampering in a serpentine line, with me at the head. I weave around rocks and ride up to the water's edge. Then, suddenly, it all changes again, and we are reaching up towards the moon. Cats standing on their hind legs, front legs stretching up and swaying, as though being blown in the warm breeze. The moon melting its amber glow over us, until, suddenly, I feel a wave of nausea wash over me. I break from the other revelers and crawl on my hands and knees a little way up the beach. It feels less potent here, and I lay down for a while and let the sounds of the yowling cats sing me to sleep. Y'all already knew I was going to follow the feline instincts. Y'all have to tell me these things. I don't have long tricks. It's a busy day in the lab today. Lots of deliveries. Trixie is pulling at the corners of the cloth she's laid on the ground. I know, you're a very important and humanly person, but I think you'll be pleased you gave up a bit of your time for this. She's produced a small box wrapped in pretty paper with a ribbon around it. Where did you get this from? Did you wrap it yourself? There's no need to sound so surprised. I thought you knew by now I'm a very clever cat. Well, open it. I don't want to spoil it, but I tear off the paper and bows and toss them away. Trixie leaps on them, delightedly playing cat and mouse. Come on, Humi. Need help? No, it's mine. We tussle for the box playfully, and eventually I retrieve it and take off the lid. Oh wow, Trix. It's a Quakestone. Of course, it's lovely. Trixie starts to laugh. Oh, Humi, you're so funny. It's not lovely at all, but it is useful. She's right. It's not lovely. It's an ugly-looking chunk of stone, about the size of a walnut, pinkish gray, but mostly gray. Useful? Does it do something? Pick it up. I take the lump from the box and instantly feel a vibration in my hand. That's weird. What is it? The feeling is spreading up my arm and through my torso. Can you feel it? It's the quake. It's from the danger zone. What? You went to the danger zone? Well, no, not personally, but I know someone who has. Who and how? Quakestone. It alters your energy, transforms your frequency. It makes you in tune with the danger zone so you don't get zapped. Wait, are you saying that if I hold this, I could go into Elder Cat territory? That's right, Humi. That's my gift to you. Protection. The word protection in a dating sim makes my mind go places. Even if it's not a sexual dating sim. I'm sorry, I just need a second. Okay. I have 100 questions competing to be asked, but I know I have to get back to the lab. Trixie, you're an angel. Let's meet up another time to discuss where you got this and how to use it. The professor is away on an overnight trip to the mainland, so I've got the lab to myself for a while. I've been running tests on the Quakestone that Trixie gave me for hours now, and I'm no closer to understanding how it works. It emits a constant pulse, but I can't figure out where the energy needed to generate the vibration is coming from. Looking at it under the microscope, the structure seems less like a gem and more organic. It looks very smooth, interlocking scales which move and shift very slowly. It's as if the rock breathes. I sit back and try to clear my head. I wonder. An idea has been half forming at the back of my mind all day, and it's now loud and clear. I need to go to the Elder Cat's territory and see if I can't join some of the dots up in C2. I decided it would be foolhardy to head to the danger zone alone, so I alert McMurphy to my plan, and he agrees to meet me there. I throw a few things that I think could come in handy into my backpack and set off, swinging by Zane briefly to let him know I'm out of the grounds for a couple of hours. He's on his seat down by the water's edge. Hi, Zane. Waiting for the supply boat? He doesn't bother to look up from his paper. Nope, that's not till tomorrow, to bring the professor back. Ah, okay. Just catching some rays, then. He carries on looking at his paper and doesn't respond. Just wanted to let you know I'm going on a field trip today. Now he shows an interest. Aren't you meant to stay in the camp when the professor is away, in case something happens to one of the cats? Yes, strictly speaking, but everyone's doing fine, and I only intend to be gone for an hour or two. You can cope, can't you? It's not a question of me coping. It's a question of you breaking the rules. My heart sinks. But if it's important, then I expect you have to do what you think is right. I'm taken aback. I get the feeling he's giving me his blessing without saying it. Thanks, Zane. Wise words. I turn to head back up the jetty path. I need to learn to read. But it might be a good idea to let me know where you're going, just in case. They're all fine, I promise you. My concern was for you. Oh, Zane, I'm touched, but I'll be fine too. Thanks for caring. Even so. I feel under pressure to tell him where I'm going, but I'm worried he'll stop me. I decide to come clean and hope for the best. Heading up the other end of the island. To the danger zone. Elder territory, yes. Be careful then. I will. And I get away before he can change his mind. I wonder why he was so easygoing about me sneaking off to the danger zone while the professor's away. Maybe Zane's not so bad after all. I haven't seen any sign of McMurphy. We said we'd meet here on the border of the danger zone. I'm squeezing the Quakestone in my hand, and I can feel the vibrations gently pulsing up my arm. Just as I'm about to venture forward alone, I hear a friendly whistle. Murphy! Were you missing me, Clara? I was giving up on you, to be honest. Ah, that's not nice. You should never give up on a buddy. Well, I'm glad you're here. I don't mind admitting I'm a bit nervous. Here, let me put this around your neck. I've made a collar for him by drilling into a piece of Quakestone and threading some twine through it. I don't want either of us to upset the elders. We need all the protection we can get, though I'm not sure this will even work. It's a big risk. Come on then, stay close to me. And you to me, Kala. And you to me. I can hear the amusement in his voice as he springs ahead of me and crosses the line into the danger zone. For a split second, I hesitate. I want to see if anything happens to McMurphy. If something does happen, I want to be able to get help. You're not making me a cannon fodder, are you, Kala? Just watching your back, Murph. And with one large step forward, I'm over the line. I stand still for a moment to feel the difference. But there isn't any. I feel exactly the same pulsing coming from the Quakestone, only now it seems to be all around me. It begins to tingle. Can you feel that? I most certainly can, and a beautiful thing it is. He's right. It feels really relaxing, without being drowsy. My mind is super alert, and I feel much more energized than I did even a few minutes previously. There are some elders over to the right. They must be able to see us, but they don't seem to be bothered by us being this close. As I take in my surroundings, I notice that there are large rocks that appear to be made of flakestone. We skirt around the edge of the area, keeping as low a profile as possible. I can't believe we're doing this. Oh, Clara, I wish I could show you your face. Why? Because you're grinning from ear to ear. You look like the Cheshire Cat. But maybe we've gone through the looking glass. Then I see the huge obelisk-type stone which most of the other cats are sitting around. What do you think, Mac? Fake stone? Has to be. Look how serene they all are. They are completely calm. Some of them are looking at us, but don't seem in the least bit bothered. There is no aggression in these animals. They are in total harmony with each other and their surroundings. Come on, Mac. Let's leave them in peace. We move back to where we came in and gather some of the lumps of stone to take back with us. I can see why they like it here so much. Okay, you. Let's get this thing off your neck. You'll be turning elder if I'm not careful. We walk back mostly in silence. It's a nice silence. Contented. Are there any extras yet? I'll probably have to wait till the next chapter. Yep, next chapter. Time to rest. Then I can do the last romance and the last research. There is nobody online right now. I was thinking of wrapping up early because I'm a little tired today, but oh well. Maybe I'll send everybody to Nick Discovery after. I've been following a familiar sound along the shoreline. I can't see Trixie yet, but I know that plaintive song anywhere. It leads me to her cave. Trixie, can I come in? Wait a minute. I hear a flurry of activity, shuffling, and liquid being poured. Trixie, are you nearly ready? It's freezing out here. As soon as the sun goes down, this island becomes ridiculously cold. Come in. Her voice is slow and sing-song. The cave is warm and welcoming. There are flower petals scattered on the ground, and little jars of lucilites in every corner. Trixie is stretched out on a rock as though she hasn't moved. Hello, you. Long time no see. Hello, Humi. I wondered when you'd show up. As soon as you invited me, actually. She ignores me and indicates a jar of amber liquid. Help yourself. She's in one of those moods, so I take a sip of the mana juice and make a note to go easy on it this time, remembering how potent it is. So, how's Trix? Great. You've not been around for a few days. She doesn't respond. I thought you were avoiding me. I force a laugh, but now I'm beginning to think I was right. Have I upset you, Trixie? Well, in a way, I suppose you have. Oh, I was kidding, but tell me, what did I... She cuts across me. I don't mean to be rude, but do you mind just shutting up and letting me talk for a while? Oh, of course. I'm a little anxious about what's coming, but I do as I'm told and I sit in silence. Life. She pauses and smiles. I'm not sure if I should respond, so I just smile back. Life is great and all, but sometimes it's not quite as great as you try to pretend it is. We get so used to making the best of it that you stop being aware that it's only silver, or sometimes even bronze. Nothing to complain about, but then something happens that is so golden, so platinum flavored rose gold that the fabulosity of it catches you up like a twister and turns everything upside down and inside out, so that you're flying and dancing against your will. You're powerless and powerful, and silver will never be good enough again. Do you know what I mean? I open my mouth, but she plows on without waiting for an answer. I feel it now, the fizzing in my tummy, the fluttering of my heart. I am champagne, popping and sparkling, light-headed and silly. Am I silly? I feel very certain and not silly at all. But I can't stop giggling, and my eyes are weepy all the time. I know what I want in my heart, but I can't connect it to my head. I feel happy. Truly happy. Not before happy, which wasn't really like being happy at all, but 24-karat happy, and nothing less will do. There's a long pause. I look down and see that my glass is empty, and I suddenly feel a bit woozy. Okay, that's it. That's all I have to say. Your turn. Oh, I'm not very good at speeches, and I don't think I can match yours. A simple answer will do. Soulmates don't come along every day, Umi. We have a chance here to take a leap and see where the adventure takes us, or forever wonder what we missed. Of course I'm in. Together forever. Let the adventures begin. And Trixie and I begin to laugh and laugh until we're rolling around on the ground so that anyone who saw us would think we were a couple of crazy, intoxicated cats. Because that's exactly what we were. This is the last research of this chapter. And it is this one again. And I know what we're going to have to do. I do not have a choice. This has to go the way that it did not go last time. Professor needs to leave. I don't like this. You put up some pics in the memes section? Oh no, what did you do? What have you done? Okay, I'm pulling up Discord. Anyway, continuing on with the samples and the non-answers. Anyway. This has to go the way that it didn't go, so I'm just going to get it over with. Muffin, a slightly plump Persian. She starts purring as soon as I touch her. She's a little older than the other cats and loves the attention. I hope this stuff doesn't harm her. I set her down on the counter, get a little of the sample, and apply it gently to one of her legs. She seems a bit put out, but she's still purring. That's a good sign. I wait about 20 minutes and nothing has happened. Hopefully another good sign. I apply a little more, to the back of her neck this time. I feel really uncomfortable doing this without any recommended dosage or guidelines. Flying blind goes against all of my training to date, but I have to have faith that the professor knows what he's doing. This is his project after all. After another 20 minutes, I don't notice anything physical, though Muffin does seem to be a little more energetic than usual. She's happily chasing my pen across the counter. I wrestle the pen out of her grip and make some notes of my observations and place her gently back in her crate. I decide to spend the night in the lab. I don't want to leave her alone, just in case anything happens, but by 4 a.m. Muffin is sleeping soundly, and I can't keep my eyes open any longer, so I head back to my tent. I feel icky about doing that, but at least it didn't harm anybody. Crazy idea, you say? I've come to the forest to gather my thoughts. This morning, I noticed another change in my appearance. Up until now, it's been easy to cover up my... Coffee! Oh, heck. Can we chuck the professor into the ocean and see if he can swim? Yeah, sounds good to me. What if they're trying to get around animal testing labs by using people turned into cats? Possibly. Yeah, I'm just drinking some coffee, Maggie. Just give me a minute. Even the stub of tail that appeared a few days ago hasn't been a problem. Who'd see it? But this new development is definitely a turning point. How am I going to explain the fact that my pupils have turned into vertical slits? I can't risk anyone seeing me like this, so I'm going to hide out for a while and see what happens. Shit! I survived one! I'm exhausted. Can we stop for a second to catch our breath? You're an old cat. We've only been dancing for an hour. You dance. I'll watch. And she giggles and dances while I recline against a rock in the evening sun. Cooler, but still deliciously warm. How did I get to be so lucky? I look back to when I thought having the virus was the worst thing imaginable, and it makes me smile. The day I decided to throw in the towel and allow myself to become a cat was the first day of a life beyond my wildest dreams. Why would anyone want an antidote? Being a cat is amazing. Being with Trixie, even better. I lazily stretch and slowly fall into a nap. Trixie settles beside me, and the two of us curl up. Our bliss is only briefly disturbed by the familiar sound of the ferry arriving at the pier. It seems my replacement has already arrived. They'll never look here, though. We know exactly where to stay safe. I wonder if they'll be as fortunate as me. That is a good place to stop, though. That is an excellent place to stop. I am not going to bother putting the raid message in the chat today. And I'm just sending you over to Snake Discovery because pretty much nobody else is online. There's still 2 more humans, yes. Excuse me. All right, everybody. That's the end for tonight. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy. Most importantly of all, stay weird. I'll see you next time. Special shout out to all of my mods, VIPs, and subscribers. Good night.